For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels post-game show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The Golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight-up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night Award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the Heaty Postgame Show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
Mama.
Hey. Welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield post-game show. I am your host, Todd Fox, as the Angels get the win tonight against the Royals. Yes, yesterday we were doing the, what is it called? The NFL show. But hey, it is what it is. We missed out on talking about how the Angels took care of business, got their rookie a nice little victory right there with Joe Adell coming through in the clutch. And guess what? Joe Adell came through in the clutch again as the Angels win again. And, right now they're playing spoiler. And that's what you want them to do as far as, what we could have did last year instead of just roll over and die for every other team out there. They came out and they played hard tonight, and they won again in a game where they had to come back again. Joe Adell gave Ferris the lead last night to give him his first victory. Then Dana, a guy that they have not used whatsoever correctly this season. They finally gave him a spot start, and maybe you're starting to think, man, maybe the Angels, as far as progression and helping guys get along and play a little bit better during the season, it would have served the Angels right maybe around July or beginning of August to stop with the Kowanowitz, stop with some of these other starters, and give some of these rookies a chance and an opportunity to prove themselves. So maybe they should have did that, but look at the way the season's going right now. Joe Adell's probably going to jump Taylor Ward for, leader in home runs. He's going to hit triple digits with RBIs probably. And right now, he's probably the MVP of the team this year. I know Zach Neto's going to be a second place right there. I think it would be a good opportunity for the Angels to get that. It would be nice to have something to smile at the end of the season. And I think Joe Adell's progression as a player, I think you have to be cheering for this year because he's been through so much through this entire or through his entire time in the organization. So with the young core coming together, they still got a long ways to go. But I think if anything's taught the organization, well, no, you can't teach stupid. So the organization will not understand that we need starting pitching, and we do need starting pitching because as good as Kikuchi has pitched this year, homeboy has racked up 10 losses, 6 wins, 10 losses. And, Soriano's been up and down. Had he gotten some run support, we could be looking at it about a 15-9 record right now. Instead, he's only 10-9 or something like that. But the Angels had to come back again. Stevenson, the guy, gave up the lead, blew it for Dana. Dana should have got the win, but he winds up getting the win, getting the sloppy seconds. And then after that, the bullpen did pretty good. Detmers would get a save, his third save, striking out 2 of the 3 batters he faced in the 9th inning. Chafin had an epic at bat right there, or pitching to a player that made him see 13 pitches. But he got out of it with just a walk. Again, Burke did another solid job. He's been one of the unsung heroes for the Angels with a 3 ERA. But looking at what the kid did tonight, Kane Danis, solid stuff. This guy could be a wreck the way we've treated him this year. But 5 innings pitched, 2 runs, 2 hits allowed, 1 earned run, only 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Again, if a kid like that can keep the strikeouts down, give me 5 or 6 innings. I'm all for it. I like it. So, with that being said, I mean, again, we need to have a steady diet of these young pitchers. Just leave them in there, let them get their lumps, let them do their good, let them find out where they can get strikeouts and where they could work their off-speed stuff, fine tune their fastballs. I would have been doing this at the beginning of August, not September, to be honest with you. There's nothing more you can see out of Tyler Anderson. There's nothing more that you can see out of Kyle Hendricks. It is what it is, man. Right there, if you take those 2 losers out of the rotation, you have 3 spots to test rookies and let them get spot starts and let them earn their stripes. Because God knows we couldn't do that all season. We had to stick with the same 5-man rotation. As far as the lineup's concerned, again, this has been I've been struggling with this the last month and a half or so. Zach Neto's come back down to earth. He had another hat trick with strikeouts today. The average continues to dip. It's at 261. It's time to move him around, get him out of that leadoff spot. Minkata had 2 solid hits. He raised the average to 228. So despite the fact that a lot of us Angel fans want him back next year, I think you let him hit free agency. Taylor Ward went 0 for 2, but he did have 2 walks, so it's productive for him. By far the star of the game, Joe Adell, 2 for 4, including that huge 3-run home run. He had 4 RBIs on the night. Louis Renifo, another guy I could just let go, 0 for 3 with a walk. Chris Taylor went 0 for 4 and a strikeout. He's only batting 200. Logan O'Hoppy's average continues to dip. By the way, don't forget to come out to Logan O'Hoppy's celebrity bowling this Sunday. He went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Peraza is Peraza, dude. I can't believe some Angel fans really want to keep this guy. I don't want him. If he's like a number 5 or number 6 infielder, I'll keep him. But other than that, no. 166 hitter. Tendencio, what more can I say about the guy? Excellent defense in the outfield. But my God, my man, for the love of God, choke up on the bat, shorten up your swing, stop swinging like you're Taylor Ward or Joe Adell. Just stop. Like it sickens me how nobody tries to help these guys. And again, a couple of nights ago, we had a couple comments where people were like, well, it's no wonder why these guys can't hit. We're being taught by Johnny Washington, who couldn't hack it in the majors. Well, that shows you why too. Dude, I didn't hack it in the majors. But I would not let my players go more than 3 to 5 games with this shitty approach. I would have stopped Tendencio a long time ago. Oh, it's so frustrating. So let's go over the player of the game again. I missed yesterday's game. I went over everything that I had to go with a football show yesterday. If you did like it, let me know. If you didn't like the show, let me know, because we're coming back next Tuesday. But that did get in the way of last night's post-game show, so I apologize. You were stuck with yummy tasting nuts, so I'm sorry.
Oh my
God! Well, not those yummy tasting nuts. So anyway, let's get to the player of the game, Golden Stamos Award. The player of the game, I mean, dude, again, Kane and Dana did all right, but without Joe Adell's 3-run homer, without him legging out that infield single, which I'll call it an infield single, not an error right there, because they didn't charge the error to Bobby Witt Jr. But again, Joe Adell, there's something to be said about the kind of year he's having, and 33 home runs right now, currently 242. The only thing I don't like about his game right now is his average. I still believe if he's not battling that thigh injury, if he gets the proper treatment on it next year and really puts his nose to the grindstone next year, I think he can really, really get his average up to about 270. If the dude is hitting 270 next year and he has maybe 35 to 40 home runs with 110 to 120 RBIs, you could kiss his ass goodbye. There's no way Scott Boras is going to take a contract from the Angels unless the Angels overpay for him. And as long as we have Artie Moreno, if nothing goes right in the offseason with him, he's gone. He is gone. And it sucks because I don't want him gone. If Joe Adell can replicate this year, and he could show Mike Trout and he could show everybody else that, hey, you have to adjust to the league before it adjusts to you. And the league adjusted to him and he adjusted back and he got better than the league. If you can't keep a player like Joe Adell, then who the hell are we going to keep? Because Joe Adell, if he emulates this next year and gets the same kind of hot start and he's right there and we're penciling him in at number 3 or number 4 because he deserves it, then there's no reason why we shouldn't offer him the bank. Because he's finally got it. If he goes into next year and he proves himself, we still, I think, got 2 more years of control with him. Then what you do is you have to pony up while you still got a year left of a contract to go. And you're going to have to come to Scott Boras at the end of next season and be like, listen, we really like Joe. We want to keep the Joe show here. And you're going to have to give him what he deserves. I wouldn't lowball this guy. I think he's proved it, but I still want to see a little bit more in the next year. And if I see it in the next year, dude, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. He has arrived and he's going to stay. And maybe Mike Trout can be like, oh, I got to fix my swing to catch up. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Because right now his career is in the dumper. If you would have told me a month and a half ago Mike Trout would still not have 400 home runs by the time his rookie bobblehead came around, I would have laughed in your face because he wasn't MVP Mike Trout this year, but he was at least doing some things, hitting a home run here and there. He was by winning when it came to home runs, but man, he's nowhere close. So hats off to Joe Adell. You're the player of the game. Let's see who took home the Nacho Night Award.
For the worst performance of the night. Congratulations. Played yourself.
Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight. Had a bad night, lost the fight. No more crunch, just take a bite. It's the Nacho Night Award.
You know, there really wasn't any outstanding, terrible at bats tonight. Even though past Quintento, the first baseman, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, and they didn't really leave too many men on base tonight. They have decent hitters. You look at this team, left only 3 men on base, 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. If I have to give Nacho Night to anybody, it's probably to the dude that lost the game, which is Eric Craig, whatever the hell you say his name. He's the one responsible to the home run to Joe Adell. But this is take no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Royals are, yes, they're in second place. They're 10 games out. They have lost 3 in a row, but they are a team that's right there in the playoff contention with the teams like Seattle and others that are fading. It has given the open door to teams like Tampa Bay, the shit fucks, and the Royals are right there. And the Royals could have picked up 2 games and could have found themselves ahead of the Mariners had they won last night and tonight. But hats off to your Angels for getting the job done and playing spoiler against a very good team. Now, some people would say, oh, the Royals are 70-69. They have scuffled a bit this year, but they are still a playoff team from last year, and they're still right in the mix, a lot better than we are. And they've got some hitters, a lot better lineup than we do. But with all that being said, you beat them back to back, and that's something to pat yourself on the back for. And I'm happy the Angels got the job done the last 2 nights playing spoiler, and it looks good for tomorrow night's game against these same Royals. Man, there's an opportunity to pull out the sweep tomorrow with Hendricks going on the mound versus Seth Lugo. Now, Lugo's pitched pretty good for the Royals this year. He's got a 4.15 ERA, 8-7 record, 125 strikeouts and 145 innings. But if don't look now, the last couple starts by Kyle Hendricks have been fairly good. His ERA is still at a 4.89, but he's been fairly decent keeping the Angels in the game or leaving with the lead. So tomorrow's game is going to be pretty crazy. Hopefully the Angels can get the job done tomorrow, and get the sweep, man, and really put a monkey wrench into the Royals playoff chances. So I'm happy with that. We got to keep it going, and if they can, it would be a nice little improvement to see a sweep, because we haven't seen a sweep of a team since they swept the Dodgers last month. So nice win here tonight. Another nice win from yesterday's game, as we weren't on doing the football show, and tune into that next week for on Tuesday. But as the Angels season winds down, there are some things to pull out of this team as far as positives. I hate to be that guy, the Roger Lodge kind of guy, but there's some hopium for next year. But there is a lot of off season left to be played, and I'm not even talking about the playoffs. So we got to get through the Tyler Skaggs ruling finally, when that finalizes in court, and then we got to get through the audit whenever they decide to do that. We don't have a date on that yet, and once that is put in place, then yes, we can possibly be rejoicing. We could be feeling good about maybe a Sam Welly's buy the team, or somebody else buys a team, and we can actually have a nice off season. Maybe Artie will be forced to sell. If not, you have to look at it this way. Maybe the Angels will just say, hey, we're firing everybody except Artie Moreno, because he's not going to fire himself. And we can get a new GM, a new coaching staff, a new everything, and see if we can get away from these analytics that have worked like a fungus to destroy the very type of baseball that me and you love. And maybe we can get back to playing some small ball. Maybe we can get back to not charting and acting like StatCast is the best thing in the world, like Cocked on Locks or Locked on Cox. But with that being said, we're 17 minutes in, and I haven't said the phrase that pays. You're watching the Halos in the Infield postgame show because we're by the fans, for the fans, by the fans. We're in the stands with you. We go to games with you. We high five you. We are the everyman fan. We are not that whack ass podcast that doesn't go to any games, that lives north of the Dodgers even, and that love UCLA sports, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't usually claim Orange County, and you can't buy a jersey 70% into the season and a hat and call yourself an all-time Angels fan with that being your only gear. It's kind of whack, if you know what I mean. So with that being said, man, appreciate all the help from last night on the football show. We're going to get in some comments. We'll start to read yours. Deuces Wild says, Todd, I'm starting to believe again, brother. Don't start believing until next year. This season is cooked, man. We just got to see what the Rooks can do down the stretch. It would be nice to see if they would call up more guys. I know they have a total of only one or two more position players that they added, but I'd like to see them have some phantom injuries. Louis Renifo go down, Mancada go down. Let's bring up Kai Boom. Let's bring up Paris. Let's bring up everybody we possibly can, and just let these guys play. Let Trout play with his kids, and just let them all go on phantom Rendon injuries. Rendon is basically able to diagnose himself anyway. So let these players take themselves out, and let's get some youth in here and see what they could do. EQ starts us off with let's fucking go. Also, DJ says, yo, Mike Trout checks in with a botanical spritz. Might as well spritz to a toast to a win.
Yeah! I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
I love winning, man. I fucking love winning. You know what I'm saying?
Andrew says, just another Halo victory. Pitching has been super fun today and yesterday. It's good to see some young kids get some wins. Also, he's fat, as we're going to get into that soundbite. Everyone's, second favorite soundbite.
Fat son of a bitch is gonna drown us all out.
Calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat. This fat son of a bitch is gonna drown us all out.
Calm down, okay?
I had it on repeat.
He's fat. This fat son of a bitch
Okay.
is gonna drown us all out.
We get it. He's going to drown us all out.
He's fat.
There we go. No Pinches Mama's way. We beat the Los Royals de Kansas City. Wait, we won. And me love you long time, Grill Master says, as the Angels get the dub tonight.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny. And me love you long time.
Royals have got Gavin's nut. Oh, it's disgusting, but let's play it anyway because it's also another phrase that pays.
On everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area.
I got my friend here in my bedroom, my childhood house, and I really, really, really want that.
How about a yummy tasting nut?
I got to bend over and find it. I know he's front and center. Why not pull it out so you guys can see it? But looks good from behind too. Oh my goodness.
It's hard. It's hard. Oh man, it feels great. Oh, yummy. Oh, how about a yummy? Oh, come on. Magic. Oh my goodness. Guys, tasting nut.
Strange says, impressed with Dana and overall good win for the Halos and D's nuts, baby.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
Also, Joe Adell embarrassed his opponent tonight. Also, Mike Trout says Seahawks, Cowboys, and Jets are buns. DJ says, if I transfer you my tickets for Friday, will you please do me a solid? I really need that cooler bag. I got you, my man. Hit me up at, let's see. You know what? Hit me up at my, my email, but it's not going to work through that one because it's not the same one. I'll shoot here. Hit me up at Halos in the Infield podcast at yahoo.com. And then I'll shoot you my real off the air email. And then we could do it that way. You could transfer to my ballpark. I'll hold it for you for sure. That's what she said. Baldwin says Joe can maybe have 100 RBIs. He should. Tyler says, dang, we could actually do this. This season starts tonight, baby. Man, we could be spoiler. That's about it, man. Just down the stretch, just play hard and see and make the other teams try to beat you, man. And just, you know, if you get some wins, you cause the other team
Emotional damage. We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Got to use that gold bond, Mike. That itch, it can be brutal. Yeah, shower shoes. Frost says Joe is really becoming a leader in there, and I like that how he went up to Tendosio in the dugout after he misread that outfield play. Passed it to the left, said, let me get those Deos. Oh, yeah, you need 4 Deos right now because we scored 4 runs. There you go. 4 Deos right there. Now let's get back to the comments. And where I missed it right there. Okay. Reed Detmers is not a closer, but good job anyway. Halos Forever says good for Ward playing with 20 stitches and Trout has a skin irritation. Yep. And that's why when someone said he's soft at work, I had nothing to say. Stukas and spoilers, me love you long time, Rams. At Mike Trout, he will set the MLB record for most games between the 398th and 400th home run. Bro, if I see you on Friday's game, I'm going to say, what's up? Yeah, you should pass it to the left. I'll be there. Section 260, I'll be there. So hit me up or just send me a message before you go. I'll be there. I'll be in, actually on Thursday, though, I will be over there in, what's it called? The Inland Empire. We're reserving a suite. We're going to be there with the Halo boys watching a minor league game over there. Mike Trout, yeast infection, heal up, not yet. Angel's grandma says it was the Joe show. Joe is going for 35 and 100. Let's go, Joe. Also, Chris needs Taylor's just this guy. Also, Baldwin says, I'm glad Ward didn't have a concussion. Me too. I actually thought he was going to have one. Andrew Chafin's last at bat was intense. You mean his last hitter he faced? Yeah, it was pretty good. What are the odds that the Angels try to re-sign or try to sign Kyle Tucker, Valdez, Schwarber, or even Bo Bichette? I would go after, to be honest with you, Valdez and Schwarber, not Tucker, because Tucker would kill us he's killed us every which way. He would probably sign a contract and have to retire. James says, yes, we can. No, we can't. Is Randy going to make a slide for the Who Gives a Fuck game of the week? I think he is. How many wins do we get now? I think we're at 66. I think we finished with 75, to be honest. Dinner was already served, my man. Mario says, all right, keep Joe and pay him. Q Lombardi, which I never thought I'd say.
What the hell's going on out here? What the hell's going on out here?
Oh, my God.
What the hell's going on out here?
I've had that replay on for whatever reason. Also, you got huge props to Adele for adjusting at bats at the MLB level. Take note, Mike Trout, says James. Mario says, I just hope Adele is not a one-hit wonder. That's why I say give it next year. World Series, here we come, the Archangels. Sweep tomorrow. Mario says, I hope the Halos sweep tomorrow, but I'll be watching Matty Matt's Cowboys get spanked by the Eagles. As long as the Angels stay in fourth, I'll be happy, Rob says over there on TikTok. Also, Mateo says, what a great football show last night. Appreciate that. Cox Unlocked, James Munlu says, Josh says, Dana could even be more dominant. He looked like he was afraid of the zone. We shouldn't send our top pitching prospects to Salt Lake to get shelled, which is smart because, yes, those fields are very, very small. Whack these yummy tasting nuts. Josh says Dana has 105 plus stuff on the change with a high whiff and a low hard hit rate, but he only threw 10% of the time of that in Salt Lake. Clearly, they aren't teaching him anything there. Oh my God, it pisses me off and depresses me at the same time how they don't do things right in this organization. Corey says, when you were talking about the Samuelis, the Ducks owner, are they interested in the Angels? Yes, but a lot of people are, and we won't know the damn thing until everything is settled. So it is just one big waiting game. Perry was right. We are competitive. We're so back. Mario follows it up with the same thing. Also, sorry, Roger, the season is over. I don't think so. I've never heard him say that. I always hear.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Josh says, Peraza looks good out there. He had good numbers on Oppo hits down in the minors. That was a good adjustment. But he's got to learn to pull the ball and go up the middle as well. Otherwise, they'll adjust to him on the outside as well. That's the thing. Mo says, could the skin infection be herpes? I don't know. Todd has a sticky finger on those sound effects. No, it was stuck on repeat. Trout got an allergic reaction to being too moist, and Tendencio continues to be to win me over. Q Tendencio and Q Lombardi. I still think that he needs to freaking choke up on the bat, man. He needs to bring that swing down a bit because he is swinging like he's a power hitter, which he's not. He's a contact dude, so he should swing like one.
What the hell's going on out here?
Chris Taylor looks better at the plate than Trout. You can't argue that. Also, still not eliminated, 91 until infinity. Are we trolling Roger the last game of the season? Yes. If I can get a lot of you guys and gals to come out there and troll the last game of the season, I would be so happy. I want to get on AM 830. I'll give you guys and gals the phone number, and we'll call in, and we'll just give him some shit. We'll just keep asking him, does the season start tonight on the final game of the season? We'll ask him if he's still reviving 20 and 25, the whole nine. Like, I want like stuff like that. Jules says, what's going on with Trout? Man, it is what's going on with him is what's not going on. He's not adjusting to Major League Baseball pitching. He can't lift his leg and have that big swing that he used to have. He can't rear back and just fire. He needs to be more of a contact hitter, and he needs to be lower to the ground, shrink the strike zone a bit, stop swinging at stuff head high or chin high, and he needs to keep both legs firmly planted on the ground, play off of his right hip to use his power. And I guarantee you, if he's not worried about the leg kick, he would have such a better, bigger swing, and he'd be able to uppercut better than what he's doing right now. Right now, he looks lost up there. Right now, he looks like he hasn't played in 2 years. So it's very disappointing. It's very irritating. And for me to say that again, when someone at work is trolling Mike Trout, I've got nothing to say, it sucks. What do I have to defend this guy? Okay, because if he's struggling, at some point you got to put your ego to the side and say, look, what am I doing wrong? Ask Johnny Washington. And if Johnny Washington's all, well, then you go to the next higher guy, and so on and so on. You go to another Major League Baseball team, their player, their hitting coach, and ask him. I'm sure they would tell you if you're not playing him that night. I mean, Trout has all kinds of connections. He's got all kinds of bad, former Major League hitters that would love to work with him. Just watch the MLB Network. The MLB Network is always diagnosing what's wrong with him, what they would tell him. Sean Casey had a nice little, what is it called? A nice little piece about Mike Trout and what they should do with him, how they should help him to adjust. But again, you got to put your ego to the side. And Mike Trout has not shown me anything that he's willing to listen to anybody. So that's what's disappointing, because right now I had also another coworker say, man, Mike Trout's career has hit the shitter so quick and so bad, it's embarrassing. And I'm not even a fan of the team, the guy told me. And I can't defend him. What am I supposed to defend him with? Oh, he's got skin irritation now? What am I supposed to tell him? Other than just tell him what I just told you, which is critiquing and trying to get him to adjust. I can't defend him. And that's sad, because at least with Albert Pujols, they'd say, man, it's a big contract. I'd be like, well, he still has like 25 homers and 93 RBIs. Oh, he hits into a lot of double plays. He's playing through plantar fasciitis, which is a very painful condition. And he gave it his all. A lot of people crap on Pujols, but he tried as hard as he could. Yes, he lost a step, literally. If you guys don't know what plantar fasciitis is, look it up. That shit is painful. It ended the career of Rick Schmitz in basketball when he was at his highest level playing the Lakers in the finals. Shaq said that was one of the most grittiest performances that he's ever seen, because he knew that homeboy was in pain. And there's been plenty of football players who just outright quit. But Pujols played through it for years. He got that condition literally the year he got here. So it's difficult to see your heroes become zeros in the box. But there is a way to save his career. And if he's not willing to do it, then yes, it's sad, but I don't feel sorry for him. I literally don't see, if he keeps his batting stance like this the rest of his career, this is the Mike Trout you got. He'll lead the team in walks, and he'll hit about 15 homers a year. That's the Mike Trout you'll have. He could literally save his career tomorrow if he really wanted to, and have a full off season of no golf. He could have family time, but no golf. And you hire a motherfucking personal trainer. It's not like you can't afford it, Mike. And you work your ass off, and you hit that batting cage built in at your house, and you just change your batting stance and watch video and make sure that you're going through the progressions the right way, and you have the same batting stance every single time. And get rid of this shit that you've been doing the last 2 years. I don't want to see him go out like this. But that is the only way his career can rebound. If he wants to get in the box and act like nothing's happened, and act like he's never been injured the last 4 to 6 years, and act like he's not, I guess, maybe a half second to a second behind a fastball, then keep it up, man. Because at some point, we're going to have to DFA your ass. And it's going to be embarrassing. I would love for him to be comeback player of the year. I would love for him to be like everyone man, we were giving up on Trout, and then Trout has turned it on. I want to see that redemption story. I really do. Because as good as it is right now to watch Joe Adell do what Joe Adell's doing, imagine Mike Trout being there right with him and being like one of the kids, because he still looks like a kid when he has that hat on backwards. And you got Neto there, and if Ohapi can fix his swing, and you got, Moore comes up again, whatever Moore did this year was going to be a plus. He needed to have failure, and he had it. And he'll be better for it next year. You have my word. That guy is going to be very good. So I'm excited about the young core, and I'm even bullish about Paris. I still think Kyron Paris can be a nice piece to this team. So again, Trout, are you going to be part of the future, or are you going to stay in the past? That's what I want to know. Thank you, Jules. I really appreciate the compliments right there. Saying great content, big fan of yours. I appreciate that. She loves the hat. I think it's she. Let me check. Oh no, it's a guy. My bad, Jules. I saw Jules. See, I gave you a non compliment right there. Sorry. Trout's for the win says you think Adele will be an all-star next year. Dude, there's no way you could pass on him. There is no way you can pass on him as an all-star next year. If he has the kind of start that he had this year, and could Adele be the new face of the Angels? I would like that to be the case, but I still think it's Neto. But he could probably be the assistant captain unless Hoppy can get it going. If the Angels get to 73 and 73 after these next two series, the Seattle series makes things interesting. Boy, that's a lot of if. I got to see a lot more play. Again, they got some other teams up here. Neto needs to expand his strike zone, and stop flailing so much. I still think that number one spot is nice for him, but he can be better number 3 or number 4. Just saying. Also, let me go back here. Rally Chris says, are the Angels trying to roll us back in? The season ends. We're 6.5 games. No, they're not. They're not trying to. Trout needs an optometrist. Eric says we won, but honestly, who gives a shit at this point? Let's troll Roger. We are going to troll Roger. So we'll see what happens. Too much sex right there is the skin condition. Trout swinging like he's married. Oh, Mike Trout is one injury away from retirement. Mario says, I once fought for 2 days with an arrow through a testicle. An arrow through a testicle? I know you were in the military, but what kind of war were you in? Like the 1800 war? Are you like a time traveler, Mario, or can you live forever? I mean, were you a cowboy, fighting the Indians at the Alamo, and took an arrow to the testicle? I can't believe that actual athlete would be okay sitting out because of a skin infection. That's our boy. Tamir 20 says 35 million a year, 15 home runs, and leading the team in walks. No thanks. Get rid of him ASAP. I think if Trout starts pitching his nails or painting his nails, he could start a career in football. Strange says Trout is muscling up the bat, no longer able to use the torque in his swing. I hate to say it, but we're lucky if we get to see Trout hit 30 home runs again. Exactly. He needs to, again, simplify his swing. No, Mateo, I don't have sex anymore. Stop saying I have sex, Trout says. Saucy says Mike Trout's uterus is hurting. Mike Trout should be chasing 6 home. Dude, we've said this before, too. He should be chasing 600 home runs. What the fuck? Juice says Neto has been the leadoff table setter we needed since Figgins. However, since Figgins would hit 290. Neto has a nice home run swing. He does get some clutch hits. I'd like to see him in the 3 or 4 hole. I know he's done good at leading off, but he can be better at seeing a little bit more pitches and working walks. but that dude is a table setter. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I think he has a future in the 3 to 5 spot. I'm just saying. I could be wrong. Eric says Trout is a victim of apathy and wealth. Both can be toxic. True. Also, I think number 6 rubbed off on Trout the wrong way. Q Lombardi. Oh, that's true. Number 6.
What the hell's going on out here?
Adele to have 50 home runs next year. That's not an actual bad assumption or prediction. Spoiler, we are. I think Rob is talking like what's his name? The little green character from Star Wars. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Spoiler, we are. Also, spoilers, we're looking at taking the AL West. Oh my God. These guys like Clausen, Dana, and Zephyr John with good stuff should be attacking hitters instead of trying to nibble on the zone. 100%, Josh. 100%. Angels build us up just to let us down. Kingdom of Heaven reference. Oh, I see. EQ says, you think Rendon will come back next year and try to compete for another contract? Yes, he is. Yes, he is totally going to come back next year. And I will be there on opening day to boo his ass relentlessly. That's if he's playing. Yes, Yoda right there. Yes, Yoda. How's Papa Fox in his foot? Thanks for asking. It healed up nicely after he sprayed blood everywhere for a good 20 minutes. He hit that artery vein, didn't even know it. So my dad's on the mend. He's walking around like nothing happened, which is crazy, but he's good. Is Mike Trout actually mimicking Mantles? I hope not. Damo, my boy, says if you could bring one Angel player back from the 2002 season to help out the 2025 team, which would you pick? I would have to say at this point, I would say GA, Garrett Anderson, Mr. Clutch. That dude would kill it with us. Salmon had plantar fasciitis. Dan says he ended up having the tendon in his foot severed to eliminate the pain. That's a gamer. Deuces Wild says Lackey. He would take Lackey. That's not a bad one right there. Act 10 says Erstad. Hell yeah, I'd make him a player coach. Remember when Rendon gave us hope in 2020, then just gave up? Yes, I remember. Eric says moist. Rob says, hey, Trout Magic Johnson would have played. He did have AIDS helping him. That's because the Lakers spent on medical. Oh man, not bad right there. I like the jokes right there. Also, Tyler says, remember last year when they asked them how Rendon was in the clubhouse and all the young guys said how much of a leader he was? Q, oh my God. Dude, I swear to God, that was the most cringiest interviews ever.
Oh my
Corey says, already did is cool. Haven't given anything to the judge, what he's still asking for. Again, at some point it's going to come over. They're going to be ordered to give up whatever they have if they haven't burned it. Alfonso says, I took a cannonball to the package and hit it 500 feet. I took a cannonball to the package. You mean park or something? I don't know. Got to clean that one up, Alfonso. Moist. Baldwin says salmon don't have feet. So stupid. Bring Weaver back. Eric says bring back Hamilton. No. Also, Gavin gets sensitive about his looks and clothing. If you want to troll him, make a comment about his attire. Mo's been doing the Lord's work over there on Locked on Cox. And I do know that I owe that dude a shirt. If I see you at the game, Mo, hit me up if you're going to go. I'll give you a shirt because he's been doing the Lord's work over there. Maybe a hat too. Because how can an all-time Angels fan be like, I bought a jersey and a shirt this year, or a jersey and a hat? That makes me an Angel fan. 70% into the season, that's your first all-time Angels gear. Yeah, we can tell you're a hardcore fan. Octale says, tell Mike Trout to choke up on the bat because that's what he did during his MVP seasons. Yeah, anything. But I think even Octeo, he has to keep his feet down. That leg kick is killing him, like it killed Neto till he finally got away from it. And lo and behold, he's a better hitter now. EQ says, did you know one of the Halo brothers used to work for Ellen DeGeneres on her show? Are you lying, or is that just, or is that true? Because if that's true, that's awesome. Been working on my oh how terrible oh no impersonation. You mean this guy?
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful. How terrible! Oh no!
Tyler says if the Halos sweep tomorrow, Todd promises to wear his pink tank top and jean jacket. Hell yes. No. Also, do you remember when Bobby Bouchette came back at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl? Classic. It's on ESPN. Ohapi is great at hospital visits, reading books to kids. Oh, God. And doing mental health ads, but he's ass on the field. I'll be sure to relay that to him, Josh, on Sunday. Eric says the hat was a gift, Todd. LOL. Facts, bro. Also, Strange says Trout looks at the barrel like it betrayed him. The bat just shrugs. He said it on his show. Oh my, for real? That is classic. That is. You mean this guy worked for the Ellen DeGeneres show?
Oh my God!
No way. I bet you he dances as good as she does too. Or he. I don't know what it wants it to be called. Eric says, so the dumbass only bought a jersey. Yes, he only bought a jersey. And he did get a hat, though. I can clip it and send it to you. Please do, EQ. Please. You're doing the Lord's work as well. James Archangel says Mike Trout at bats looked like a mannequin at Foot Locker. What the fuck? Juice says, do we bid on pitchers like Nick Martinez or Jordan Montgomery next season? We should have went after Jordan Montgomery this year. Nick Pivetta was right there. Pivetta was a guy that the Padres just were like, oh, wait, it's almost the start of season. He's still a free agent. Why not? We could have had him. Could have had Nick Pivetta, and Nick Pivetta would have literally been an ace. He's like literally number 5 for San Diego, but he's pitching like a 2 for them. And he could have been a number 1 for us. That's a guy I was, look, Rob put him on the radar for me because I didn't even know he was a free agent. Boston let him go. And Rob was like, dude, we should get him. We should get him. And I started looking at him. I'm like, why is he still a free agent? Because I was locked in on Montgomery. I'm like, dude, we can get Montgomery for a cheap price. And instead we got Kyle Hendricks. So I was disappointed. I'm like, well, it doesn't look like we're going to get any more starters. And then when the spring training hit and I'm like, wait, we're going with Jack. We could literally squeeze Pivetta into that rotation and have a decent chance. And I swear to God, like Rob says, I told you, he told me all off season. And even to the day he signed with San Diego, he was like, man, we should have got Pivetta. Again, sometimes when you're right, you're right. And Rob was right. And I was sitting there the same way thinking, damn, this team could have had a nice rotation. And Paisa Cook says Dylan Cease, but Cease is having a bad season. Other than that, Cease from 2024, I'm all in. Even Evaldi could have had him 2 times already, Big Z. Could have had him twice. And we let him go each time. This last time he was with Texas, this last year, I don't feel too bad because he's had an off year and it's been loaded with injuries. But again, he's another guy that when he's on, he's fucking on. And again, with a piss poor rotation, with a bunch of youngsters who aren't ready, Soriano hasn't ascended high enough to get to a number 1. You throw an Evaldi in there, you throw a Montgomery in there, you throw a freaking Pivetta in there, and those guys easily are number 1. And imagine in a perfect world, for the amount of money that each one of those tools signed, you could have had all 3 of them for just a tad more than what you pay Rendon. Maybe even like right to the dollar. You could have had all 3 of them because they signed deals that were like $10 to $12 million each. Maybe I think the highest was 15, maybe. So you could have had, like in theory, you could have had all 3 of those guys. Imagine all 3 of those guys with Soriano and Kikuchi, or just throw away Kikuchi and be like, okay, we'll hold on to Anderson as a 5. Imagine Tyler Anderson being your 5 and those 3 guys along with Soriano, and you don't put the pressure on Soriano to be a 2 or a 1. You could have him at the 4. That's a playoff rotation. That's a playoff rotation. And see, that's not even me saying, oh, we need to spend $100 million on each starting fucking pitcher. No, that's doing your homework and utilizing the money that you have to get the most profit out of the free agency. You could have built yourself a rotation on the cheap and still got, look, low risk, high reward. In today's finances with baseball, you could have did that. You could have did that. Instead, they're bargain basement shopping, they're blue light special going all the way back to, Kmart. They don't want to spend. It's like Jerry says, but remember who our owner and GM are. Exactly. Now just imagine this, Jerry and everybody else. Imagine if I was the GM. Not to pat myself on the back, but that's what I would have done. I would have said, and I would have went on social media. Let's just say this year was the first year of Todd Fox being the general manager of the Angels. I would have said, I'm going to go on social media. I'm going to go on Reddit. I'm going to go on all these things and read the verses and see what the Angels fans were talking about all 2024. I want to see what they were pissed off about. I want to see how things work. I want to see what this team wants, what the fans want. It doesn't take a genius. I wouldn't have to be on social media more than an hour or less to find out what everyone clamors about. Even when we win games, is we need pitching. We need starting pitching. We need starting pitching that's not only healthy, we need starting pitching that is good, and we need starting pitching that will scare the opponent. We don't have anybody outside of a couple handful of Soriano starts, and not even that. Nobody looks at a Soriano start and says, man, we're going to have trouble today. That guy's a beast. No one looks at Kikuchi that way. No one looks at anybody that way. We don't have that guy. We haven't had the guy, that guy, the guy at all. And until we do, we are fooling ourselves that we're going to make the playoffs. And I don't want to see us, like, let's just say we're 3 games out of the wild card and someone DFAs Verlander, and that's our move. Out of all the moves Perry could have did, he stops eating tacos for a minute and he goes right into it and says, hey, we're going to get Verlander. This isn't Verlander from 10 years ago. And then Verlander pitches one start and says, oh, I'm injured. That's our luck. So again, if you want to win, the young core is nice to be building on the infield, possibly the outfield with Joe Adell now. Maybe some other players come in here. Players like that are easily replaced. You can find an outfielder. I've talked about this before. You can find a third baseman in free agency. You can find a second baseman. You can find a first baseman. You can find a DH. You can't find shortstops and catchers. Those are premium players and positions. The fact we have Zach Neto, if Hoppy can get his shit together, we don't need the 2 most important position players. What we do need, what we have needed, what we don't have, and what we've been yelling at on social media, at the stadium, and sometimes at Artie when he would make appearances in spring training, we need pitching. Good, reliable, scary starting pitching. You would put Pivetta in there. He's not going to scare anybody, but he will shut you down. You put Montgomery in there, he will stop a losing streak. You put other pitchers in there that we could have got for cheap stuff, it will work out. But you got to be able to pay. And again, I can't keep stressing the fact that we need starting pitching. And it's been something that, again, if you don't get starting pitching, there's no way we can get around it. I read somewhere the Angels were supposed to have around 100 million in cap space this season. Is it true? No, it's not true. He's trying to lower the cap again, or at least lower the payroll. And then you got 78 million or more tied up between Trout and Rendon still. So Rendon's contract would probably give with a cap probably around 7. If they would eat it and not count it on this year's payroll, but just pay it out, you would have something like 70 something, 73 million. Why is Ron Washington still affiliated with the Halos? I don't think they want to fire him just yet or move on. Deuces Wild says, is a gamble, Todd. Remember Joe Blanton, Jerome Williams, they don't always work out. It's always a gamble. But Jerome Williams actually did work out for us a little bit, but I think they get too caught up in that. Halos will always signing pitchers past their prime. That's true. Angels executives have no clue. They could have had Andy Pagaz for Renifo a few years ago. They could have. And they could have had a much skinnier, what's his name? The hitter used to be on the Dodgers too. Hendricks doesn't even scare my my grandma. Let me go up to here the comments right here. Let's see. Johnny Washington gave Trout an infection. We sure it's not pink eye right there. Also, we never get good pitching. Get your shit together. I thought the Galo brothers were still in the closet. Apparently, they came out. Also, Strange says Trout asked Rendon, I need some IL. Rendon said, here's my bat. Fisting the North Star says, at this point, I'm sure Artie purposely tanks the team to spite Anaheim and its citizens because he's mad. He's mad that we booed the shit out of him. At least Pujols was hitting between 255 and 285 and knocking in 85 to 100 RBIs a year. I take that from Trout all day. Exactly. Except we're not even getting those kind of numbers. Instead, we're getting Lombardi saying, what the hell's going on out here? Yep, saying anger. Rob says, I want Mitchell King. Everyone's sleeping on him. Rob's been saying that too. Frederick says GM Todd Fox holds a GoFundMe to raise money to start buying pitchers. Also, Alfonso says, I'm pretty sure Roger Lodge loves him some Halo Brothers and Gavin, since they might suck just a bit more than he does when he's at Stamos's bedroom. Also, how terrible the Angels have never have pitching. Oh no. Mario says, Todd, the Babe Fox, if you were GM, would you listen to the analytics guy, Dominique? Yeah, because I would say, okay, I'll take what you're saying, but I just crumble it up and throw it in the trash. No, I was kidding. Get some quality fucking pitching, Eric says. Also, starting pitching, best I can do is a fourth outfielder and a bullpen arm. Tamir20 says, watch Anderson or Hendricks are going to get signed for next season since the team doesn't value starting pitching. Alfonso says, what's going on with number 6? Is he actually injured or just not welcomed in the clubhouse? He's actually out. Peterson, Jock Peterson, that's who we were looking for. Richard Thurman says, Trout's still on vacation, Todd. No, he's been just taking time when he wants it. Mario says, we're stuck in the mess as long as Artie owns the team. Yep. And also, can we get a trivia winner gets to sit on Todd's lap next game? I don't think so. I think I need to get an Adele jersey. You should, Nick, because those will start actually selling at the stadium. By the way, they will be selling next year. It won't just be Trout. Adele's a real deal, man. I really like him. Hendricks, Anderson, and Kiwanowitz pitching spots should be available. I hope we sign one ace. One ace will get you a couple number 2s or a number 2 and a number 3. And then, again, if you're moving Kikuchi to the 3rd spot, Soriano to 4, I like your rotation. That means you have good pitchers up top. Already thinking of renaming the Halos Los Angeles Angels of Orange County, USA. You forgot the Republic of China. He does like him some China. Josh says we should get a Japanese pitching coach to teach some of these guys a splitter. They have guys like Jack throwing useless changeups and getting hammered. Dude, utilizing a splitter and a cut fastball, good cut fastball would be good additions to this team. So I do agree there. Mateo says Peterson's fat.
This fat son of a bitch is going to try us all out.
Just gotta calm down, okay? All right?
He's fat.
I think any of us that would take Todd and Dom running this team over the asshats currently employed by Mr. Burns of the NFL, or MLB. Dude, I would love to run this team. I can promise each and every last one of you that I would take into considerations. I would do an Angels mailbag and I would actually read the best comments. I'm sure Josh would get a lot of them. And we would get a lot of sass from Mario and others. And I swear to God, um, I would take everyone's ideas into consideration for sure. And then I would run the team like it's supposed to be ran and just say fuck the analytics. I think I would have Dominic run the scouting department. That dude is a good eye for talent as far as hitters. And then I would have Rob run the pitching aspect and have him either the pitching coach or him standing over the pitching coach because that dude's freaking tall and very intimidating. And I would love Rob would talk to you with a smile and then just talk down to you and bitch you out, but keep you in line. Dominic would just talk your ear off until you'd want to change whatever the hell you're doing wrong. Uh, also, Trout and his career end his career with the Halos or going to Philly. Look, if we're not doing anything and he doesn't want to, I would totally say go win a championship somewhere else. Go somewhere else and get your ring if you can still play. But we'll see. 93 says I like the third baseman from Japan. They do have a good shortstop too, but a third baseman would be great. I would love a slap the ball hitter from on the third base side. Lure Danny Oliveris from the Royals as our president of scouting. He's originally from the OC. It depends, man. That team is working its way back up too as well. Also, I heard that one of the Halo brothers worked his first job at Chico's. I think it was a guy on the right, Davo. Jerry Jones does look like Mr. Burns. We need a Todd in a thong bobblehead. No, we don't need that. Also, does Artie have the choice to relocate rather than upgrade the Big A? No, he signed for 2032. By the way. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want the link for baseball on September 20th, softball game, actually, if you guys want to play, or I will message some of you that I already know who wants to play, but if you want the link to get in and use our code, because there is a small fee to play, because it is going to be from like 1:30 to I want to say 6 o'clock or 7. It's going to be a tournament, softball tournament. It looks like if we get our shit together and get our players involved, we could have 2 teams from the Halos in the infield, which is awesome. Because what if the 2 Heaty teams meet up at the end that for the title? That'd be pretty cool. Shirts will be given away. Hats will be given away as well. So that's all part of it. So again, check us out. But hit me up at Halos in the Infield podcast at yahoo.com. And then I'll put the links out to, again, like I'm going to send one over there to Courtney because I know she wants to play. And if anyone else does, message me or whatever, and I'll send the link out to you as well. If Trout leaves the Halos, he will have to cancel Eagle tickets for our October. That's true. He'd actually have to play in October. Canero's like, rest in peace, Angels Heating. Oh, that's messed up. I heard that both Halo brothers moonlighted Hooters. I bet Gavin would love to be the catcher. Courtney says Trout will stay in Anaheim solely because he made his name here. He doesn't care about winning. Can't disagree. I can't disagree. Courtney says I'm starting at second or third or nothing at all. Yeah, and I would actually I don't know, dude. Courtney would either be good at leadoff or number 2. Possibly even like a number 5 or 6. I don't think she wants to bat that far down the lineup though. I think as long as she's got that run back, because as long as her knee is completely healed, I think a leadoff spot for her would be awesome. Let's see. Also, I'm waiting for I'd play softball, but waiting on shoulder surgery on my throwing arm. You could be a DH, Mario. Could be a DH. There you go. So we're caught up here in comments. We're at the hour mark. I'll be back here tomorrow's Thursday. I will be going maybe late. Okay, we'll reserve a spot for both of you. I'll send you a link, Courtney. But yeah, I look at it this way. Tomorrow I may or may not get on here for the post game. And if it is, it's going to be late because we're going to be coming back from San Bernardino. We're going to the Inland Empire game tomorrow. So it should be fun. If anything, if you're going to be at the game tomorrow, give me a hell yeah. Come by and say hi. we'll be there with the Halo boys and walking around. We'll be in a suite as well. So I'll be all over that stadium tomorrow. So $7 tickets. But what's up, Eric? My buddy from the Pacific Northwest. Canero stopped going to games. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But some of us are glutton for punishment, like myself. All right, everybody. You guys and gals have a good rest of your night. Like I said, I'll be messaging some of you guys and gals with the link for softball. If I don't hit you up, hit me up at what is it called? Halos in the Infield podcast at yahoo.com. And then if I'm not on tomorrow night, I'll be on for the homestand, or I'll be at the game on Friday. And then I'll be on doing the post games there afterwards until the season's over, baby. I play this one out. Everybody have a good rest of your night. I'm going to play you out with some Stukas. Angels get the win. Let's go for the sweep tomorrow. Something that we got to keep our composure, man. We got to keep our composure, and hopefully we can get those victories and tell the Royals.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful. How terrible! Oh no!